Tell me about your experiences with TF2. When did you start, so on and so forth.
So I started playing in 2020 on like a portable laptop. Before the whole dot-com
Hmm. Hmm.
then I just stopped playing because I could. In 2021, I got myself a powerful enough PC to play.
Hmm.
But I tried playing casual, but of course it's infested with bots, so
Don't
that
worry, it's not
wasn't
a special
possible.
story, it's a very short one, very quick. But I
And
think
we
it's
tried
fun.
finding ways around that,
Maybe it's something
playing
misunderstood, maybe
CTF
not, I
with
don't know. First let me have
then
another shot.
the bots
Cheers.
came there, trying to play different game modes. Just stop playing
I guess
casual in
MTF
its
is fun a
entirety.
little bit.
Then I just
No,
started
no.
playing
Hey, don't worry, I'm not
Jump
having that
Academy
free
because
card.
I didn't have anything better
Only
to do.
one, so
How long have you been playing TF2 for?
I guess I started back in 2013. It's been multiple different Steam accounts, but if you round them all up, it's about, I don't know, 3,000 hours plus.
How long have you been playing TF2 for?
Let's see, probably consistently since 2008, so that would be almost what? How many years is that?
14
2022
years.
minus 14 years, yeah.
So did you buy it before it was free to play?
Yes, twice.
Twice.
Once on the Xbox 360, that was the first time I bought it. Second time, bought it through the Orange Box.
Before I started recording, you said you played TF2 since launch and you played it for 5 years. Have you played any TF2 since then?
Yeah, to be honest, there were only some episodes when I installed the game back and, just played it for like a week or a month, just for some nostalgia trip, I would say.
When did you first start playing TF2?
I think it was 2017 or 2018. It was around that time when I actually got access to a computer to actually play the game. But I'd been watching all the funny videos on stuff and trying to shoddily play by using the Orange Box for the Xbox 360, way back when.
When did you first start playing TF2?
The first time I played TF2 was actually with Sunrosa over there. Actually, she convinced me to first play it.
I think I started back in 2016. It was actually my first-person shooter game. Even though I'm not too sure if it's the best. It's supposedly the best one to start up with. But it's a pretty fun experience.
I started 2014, 2015, I think. I remember actually I downloaded it on my laptop because it was the only free game that I saw at the time, and I had no money. It was like the second or third thing in my Steam library.
When did you first start playing TF2?
2015.
I started in 2011, when it went free to play. It was July or June or something like that. That's when I started, and I kept it going for a while. It was on and off, but it was pretty active until 2014 then, and it was on and off, and now I'm playing it actively again, so you know.
Do you still play TF2 to this day, or did you stop? Are you on a hiatus, or...?
Yeah, I played it this morning, but I usually play it I take play for 3 weeks straight, then I take a week break with a bunch of other games, so it doesn't get too old at the same time.
Do you play it often still?
I play it. Yeah, I still play it pretty often, just not casual servers.
That brings me smoothly on to our next point. What do you think the problems are currently with TF2?
So, I have my opinion on that is a little unpopular, I think. But what I think the issue is that I think the matchmaking system for Team Fortress 2 just doesn't work. It's almost like it's trying to do the matchmaking from Counter-Strike, but in TF2, and I feel like it doesn't work. because TF2 is supposed to be like this. It's hyper casual for most people who play the game, and like I feel like it's just not compatible with like a casual matchmaking system if it's not being moderated and kept up to date at all times. I think it was a lot. I feel like it was a lot better when a lot of that was sort of on the community to make and run the servers, and you know that's what I still play these days even.
You say that you come back to TF2 every so often for a bit of a nostalgia trip. How do you think current day TF2 compares to way back when you used to play it very often?
Yeah, actually, I haven't been coming back since like 2 years, I think, but I've heard about the current problems of TF2. Recently, I've heard about the protest that is going on, and yeah, I've heard about the botting problem, which probably is unbearable.
When was the last time you played TF2?
Probably a month or two ago.
So, you both play TF2, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I go on there as myself.
Admittedly, I did retire most of my inventory because I stopped playing it, but I still do visit every now and again because it was such a big part of my first gaming experiences.
What class would you say that you main the most?
That would be the Pyro.
What is your favorite class to play?
Favorite class? It's definitely the engineer. The engineer is the best class because of how many different ways you can play him. Basically, the way that I saw it, no matter what server you could go into, engineer, there's always something you can do.
What class do you main the most?
Oh, I think I mained the most Scout and Spy, if I remember correctly. And later on, I was playing a lot of Soldier.
What would your favorite thing be about those four classes?
To be honest, Scout and Soldier were just very offensive, very dynamic, so that was great for me. And as if for the Spy, I really enjoyed the... oh, I can't remember the name of the clock that made you invisible after you got shot. I loved it. I was abusing it.
What would be your main?
It's a weird mix between Pyro and Heavy. Pyro whenever there's not like 5 of them, and Heavy most of the time. I'm not a Pyro because the team needs a balance and there's no like strong power class like Demo or Heavy.
I was a Scout player because I just picked up Scout, and I was a noob, so I'm like, play Scout. That's the default. I think actually Scout is the only class I can play, except maybe Medic. I played Medic a couple of times as well. I kind of like Medic.
I used to play a lot of Spy just because, knife goes stab. Just one.
Yeah.
But nowadays, whenever I play, I mean, I still play Spy, but I also play like Scout and sometimes Devilman, just because I'd like to play people like characters who would like prefer to have like more precision aims. I mean, it requires more aim skills than just going butter knifing.
Scout, Medic, and then third Sniper. Actually, I just remembered I played Sniper as my third class.
Spy, Scout, Demoman.
I never really have had a main. I just like focusing on one thing for a while.
What class do you main the most, or what was your favorite class to play?
It's a mix between Sniper and Soldier. Those are my 2 main ones.
Soldier and Heavy.
Have you got any like fond memories? Any people you've met on TF2? Favorite kill montages?
Yeah, I don't usually go for like aggressive play styles. I'm a soldier rogue, so I play a lot of jumping, like Jump Academy, Tempest. I know multiple of the top jumpers, like Nikki Hotchkiss, Ninja Cookie, all those people. Friends of mine.
So you don't want to have a good time.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I do in TF2 nowadays because there's nothing else to do.
Have you got any fond memories of TF2? Have you met any nice people on there? Anybody you're still friends with, or proudest moments?
I haven't really got many friends out of it, but I'm used to that. But fond memories. There was this one time. Don't remember what map, but I think it was a payload one, and it started with some random person doing a conga, but at the end of it, at the last point, there were exactly everyone was doing the conga or some other dance. Like everyone in the session got like the achievement we have to do the conga with like 10 or more people. It was such a great feeling because there were so many doing it as well. Everyone just joined together to do it. As soon as everyone got the achievement, everyone killed each other.
Have you got any favorite memories of TF2? Met any good people? Had any fun casual lobbies or servers? Anything good?
Oh, 100%. But oddly enough, a lot of it was not in TF2. It's usually around TF2. Because Team Fortress 2 was actually how I got started with my career, actually.
Oh, really?
I actually got a job because of stuff I did on Team Fortress 2. I do work as an animator, and I got started making stuff for Team Fortress 2.
Would you like to shamelessly plug your animation thing for people to watch?
Sure. I'm a Nomi, but it's just a Nomi Day. If you add a DAE to the end of this, that's where you can find everything I make.
Do you have a favorite memory from when you were playing TF2? Have you met any people? Do you still talk to them?
To be honest, I was playing in the small circle of friends which I had at the school, and we were mostly playing together, and the best memory I can think of is dominating them and taking screenshots, and we are all doing that just to, show off.
Do you have a favorite memory of TF2? Any, like, really good kill streaks, really funny kills, team wipes, whatever?
I don't have a specific favorite memory, but my favorite memory probably just came from, like, messing around in those trade servers, where I'd, like, trade one or two things I wanted to trade, but just talk with people screaming over the mic with, like, proximity chat, and just, like, do random shit like the parkour maps and finally finish those.
It was at night when I downloaded it, and I started playing it. I joined a 2-fort map, and I was playing Soldier. I was just shooting rockets from like one fort to the other from the battlements. Obviously not effective at all, just one of those annoying people. But that's the first experience I ever remember, and I stayed up all night that night. My parents got really angry at me the morning after that, but I didn't care. I still played TF2, even after they like grounded me or whatever. I was still playing TF2. It was fucking amazing.
The first time that they got me on TF2, we did play a 2-fort. And everyone was complaining about 2-fort, being like, "Oh, this map fucking sucks." But I was like, I didn't know how to play the game, so I was just running around as scout, pushing way too hard, doing the dumbest shit. And I might have been terrible, but my aim carries me through that game. I have no like game sense in that game, so I would just run in and manage to kill entire rooms as scout, and that was my first time playing. I thought, man, this game's fucking easy. And then like 2 minutes later, I couldn't leave the fort, and it was like the worst experience of my life. I genuinely, even though I was getting like horribly dogged on, I think it was genuinely an amazing experience. It's like one of the few experiences I have with the game.
It's definitely going to just be 2-fort. You always have these kind of things, like, whenever I play 2 Fort, I always, like, like, being in 2 Fort is already, like, the best moments for me, because you'll just be seeing people, like, just not giving a shit about the objective, no one's sweating. I mean, you have, like, sniper battles, then you have Hoovies just giving out sandwiches, people with engineer just turtling all the way in their spot, like back at the intelligence area, and people just passing along the intelligence, like the intel, like just keeps on dropping, and it just spams the fucking the fucking audio.
Yeah.
Oh god. No, I really love those. I really love those times, but you know, obviously right now, it's not exactly something that I can enjoy due to the amount of the huge botting problem.
I don't really think I can pick out any particular favorite moment because there are just so many good moments I've had in that game. But one thing I can think of that happened recently that I just thought was a cool moment was I was playing with my wife in Harvest. Like you said, I love Harvest. And I was playing with the what do you call it? The double donk thing. I forgot the name of the weapon. It was cannon. Yep. I had she was playing as an invisible spy. I just had the game sense to shoot around a corner, knocked her up into the air, then I air shotted her with another air burst. It was perfectly timed. 2 double donks in a row, I think. Fucking crazy.
Do you have any favorite moments in TF2? Something really stupid's happened, or you've gone on a really big kill streak? Something that you really remember?
Okay, can I go off on like a little 3-minute tangent?
Go for it.
I was playing on 2 Fort as heavy, and I was shitting around, and there was a spy on our team. And I called him out, and he got killed. And I got kicked from the game, and the spy messaged me talking shit, and of course I talked shit back. Long story short, that has become he's become my best friend. I've known him for 3 years, and I've never had a better friend.
Alright, so this is 2012. I found out about trading. I was a little newcome. I found out about trading. I was like, I want to get into this. So what I did is I played Left 4 Dead 2 to get those Left 4 Dead 2 items. You know, you get the Ellis cap and you get the frying pan. And then I traded my Ellis cap for a fancy fedora. And I was real proud of that. I was like, oh my god, I'm a fucking baller. And I screenshotted myself everything. It was fun. And then a little later, I went and got myself, I traded up to a track terrorizer, which was new at the time. And then I went and got scammed and I got a Troublemaker's Tozzle cap, and my track terrorizer was gone.
You got any favorite maps?
What the fuck's the map? The one with the giant tree in the middle of it. I can't remember its name.
Giant tree in the middle. I know what one you're on about, but I can't put a name to it.
Capture the flag, mostly.
Yeah, it's got like big wooden walkways around the tree as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Landfall. Thank
Landfall.
you. Oh, schizophrenic delusion.
We would always play on what was the map? I'm trying to remember.
2 Fort?
No, Harvest?
No.
Harvest.
Harvest. Oh, with us too. Yeah. Harvest.
Yeah, it would be like Harvest with a small group of people. It was really fun. We would play for hours, all the way into the night.
We used to play a lot. We used to play a lot 2 Fort just to chill because I don't want to sweat it out too much. And occasionally like Turbine. I mean Turbine and 2 Forts are usually like your friendly Hoovies type of maps.
I liked 2 Fort. I didn't get to play too many maps.
But if
I'm trying to remember this one map where there's I don't know specifically what game mode it is because I'm a super noob.
Nucleus?
You can't really take 2 Fort seriously. But if I want to play something that people actually play the objective, probably my favorite map to play would probably be Bad Water, before that, it was probably Dust Bowl.
What about favorite maps? Do you have a favorite map?
My favorite map that this is gonna sound very basic, but 2 Fort it's like perfect for TF2, in my opinion, at least.
I would say Dust Bowl and Viaduct. What's the other one? Turbine. I like Turbine.
What do you think the best year for TF2 was? Because you've played a long time. Do you have a favorite year? Any good exploits? Good maps?
Yes. The best year by far for the game itself, the one that probably saw the most growth of the game too, oddly enough, 2011. 2011 was the year, I think it was the year that the Mac update happened, but it was also the same year that the free-to-play update happened. And that's where it turned from like a just like another game on Steam to like popular multiplayer game. It was 2011 for sure.
What is your favorite thing about TF2 as a game?
You know, there was certainly a freedom of the playstyle you want to take, because I was never playing it competitively. It was usually on the community servers, and to be honest, most of the time I've spent was on community map, which was called CP Orange X or something like that. There was just this huge tower in the middle of the map, and you know, it was just a mayhem, and I loved that.
If Valve responds to Save TF2 and they fix the bot issue, do you think that TF2's popularity would rise?
I mean, there'd still be the issue of absolutely zero major updates, but even with that, somehow the player thing is slowly rising. So I mean, if the bots were fixed, it could still get a little bit more popular, but if it actually wanted to have a fucking go at it, the bots would need to be out.
What do you think of this movement, Save TF2? What do you like? The whole community's come together. What are your thoughts on it?
I think that it is the last hurrah for people who genuinely want TF2 to succeed far beyond what they thought it would. I think this is the straw that just might break the camel's back, and if it doesn't, TF2 might finally fizzle out of the public eye. That's what I think it is. It's just a final thing.
Save TF2, kicks ass. I saw a tweet by Robin Atkin Downs, and he's really active in the TF2 community, and I love him.
What? He is?
Yeah, he's a community treasure, my god. Yeah, no.
This is one, I watched the whole thing. This is one live stream where they got they got the voice actor for Heavy, Spy Pyro, Demo Man, the announcer, Sniper, and Medic together in a live stream in a voice call, and they just shot the shit, you know, and they read out some comic lines. It's pretty cool.
I saw that too. It was fucking awesome.
If Valve do listen to this and are brought back and do start to fix the issues, do you think TF2 will have a rise in popularity and go on for even longer?
I would almost guarantee it, because not only in an attempt to save the game, people have rallied like their lives depended on it. And if it were to receive a major update, it would go from here all the way up. It would skyrocket. It'd be seen as a miracle, almost. And I think it would be a great refresher, not only for general community, it'd be great for the lifespan of the game. And even more so if they continue that. I think if they do go on with what they're doing, it's going to die out. But if they update it all the way up to here, you know?
You know, yeah, it would And the word of mouth would spread real quickly. Yeah, game would be fucking popping off, you know? Because what the TF2, anyone born like in the late 90s, early 2000s, you know, TF2 is ingrained into their fucking minds. With the voices of the characters, the goddamn art style, everything like that. So if it got some love again, those people would come back to TF2, or people who heard of it would tell the people who used to play TF2, you know what I'm fucking talking about. I'm gonna fucking kick Val's ass.
So would you say that the biggest shortcoming of TF2 is the fact that it has been flooded with bots?
Not only that, but it hasn't been majorly updated in a while.
Would you be shocked if I told you that the last major update, the community has just celebrated its 5th anniversary?
No, I'm not surprised. I've heard rumors about it being like a long time since the game was updated, but I didn't know it was 5 years. I thought it was only like 3 years.
Yeah, Jungle Inferno 2017. Yeah, it's just passed by. What would you say the shortcomings of TF2 are? The problems, issues, anything of the sort?
The problems. Well, definitely first off, the bots.
What about the other end of the spectrum? What do you think was the worst year for TF2? What are its shortcomings, bad things, problems?
Worst year? So I think a lot of people will agree with me on what the worst year was. It would be 2018. I think it's 2018. Because I'm pretty sure 2018 was the year that they did the competitive update. And that's sort of really where it kind of got a little sour from there, I think. Where it got to the point it is today was probably because of stuff that happened in 2018. I think it could easily be better, and there's definitely some like easy fixes they could do for quality of life. And they've already done quality of life on their previous games. I feel like it's not unreasonable to ask them to do quality of life on, this game too. Listen, I unironically liked Artifact. It's not even playable anymore because nobody plays it.
Do you think that TF2 will ever get to that point if Valve don't do any of the quality of life updates they've done with their other games and they just let it fester? Do you think TF2 will eventually just plummet?
No way. Zero chance that happens.
Do you have any views on the bot problem that's been plaguing the game for God knows how long?
I think the bot problem ultimately is just a side effect of making a matchmaking system and then not maintaining it. Like, it doesn't just happen to TF2. It happens to like every multiplayer game that eventually gets abandoned by the developers. You get just shitty matchmaking. Like, just look at any other abandoned multiplayer game and you'll see like the same sort of deal. Like hackers, sometimes bots, just like dumb shit. I think it's to be expected. Like, and I feel like if they're not gonna maintain it, like, casual and competitive might as well just get deleted from the game.
To be honest, regarding the lack of communication with Valve about the game and updates, I am afraid to say it, but it might be brutal, but I believe Valve is okay with TF2 dying out, and well, they're just okay with it going out, taking the lights out. And well, to be brutally honest again, I'm not so optimistic if they will look at the protest and decide to give some update, unless they will decide that this will be some boost to their reputation and community value, let's say, because the profits they're getting from this game are probably much less than from games like CSGO. Well, I believe the slow decay started from the CSGO, I'd say, because competitive Team Fortress 2 was never a strong part of TF2, I believe. I mean, I never got to watching the matches. Maybe there were some people, but it was never numbers of games like CSGO, Dota, League of Legends. I'm positive even to say that esports killed TF2.
What are your thoughts on the problems with the game? What do you think the biggest issues are?
There's not many balance problems I can think of. The game's in an alright state. There are like one or two broken things, probably. But it's them damn bots. Just gotta... That's the only real issue, which is like the whole point of Save TF2.
I don't know how up to date you are with TF2, but TF2's, last major update, we've just celebrated its 5-year anniversary. We have had no major updates since then. And I don't know if any of you are aware, but the reason we're doing this is today there's a peaceful protest on Twitter with the hashtag savetf2 to try and get Valve's attention, because we have had no communication with them from the problems, the issues, and yeah, which again brings me on nicely to the next problem, or question, I suppose. Now that we've heard the good, what you enjoy about this game, what do you think the shortcomings are, the bad things, things that need to be fixed?
Nothing is explained. Nothing makes sense. Everything is fucking like completely. Unless you have a friend or if you're looking up guides, a video, nothing makes sense. Everything is completely silly. It definitely needs like some sort of new player like help, like something for a new person to get into.
Okay, well, technically, for me, I have two glaring problems with the game as of right now. Okay, well, botting problems one, but we'll, that'll be later. But and also, there are some things which are not stated on the weapon. So it's like, let's say, oh, I just got this new weapon as a new, this new item as a new player. I should try it out, and I said, okay, so this is what it tells me. For example, the buffalo steak. I thought it would be pretty good. Right? Turns out they didn't even tell me about that 20% damage vulnerability at all, even in description. Maybe like also the Thompson doesn't tell me all the other downsides and everything. It's just that like their weapons, some of their weapons are just not informative enough to tell me like what they actually like do. Pretty sad that it has come to this right now.
Some work on competitive. It always has felt like nobody plays it really. And I know it's not really designed to be a competitive game, but I think if they could sort of get more people into it, like so the queue times aren't just infinite, basically, it would at least be another thing that the game could use to live, to survive. Because I wouldn't say it's dying, but it certainly is going down in popularity, especially with the lack of updates.
What do you think the problems with TF2 are? What are the shortcomings, the issues?
Honestly, I think that, especially as of recently, it's been focused less on adding fun shit to the game and making it refreshing as it is more of milking every last penny they can. It's monetized to hell. The only new thing that we get are loot boxes with bare bones items to keep us buying, and there's no quality of life updates or anything. It's just, here's a new box. I think that's a major shortcoming, honestly.
How would you feel if I told you that the last major update for TF2 was 5 years ago?
Jungle Inferno.
Yep, that's the one.
Valve, we're gonna kick your fucking ass.
If Day of Defeat is still being played, and not Source, Day of Defeat the original, it still has players, Team Fortress 2 is gonna have players for at least the next 30 years. If I'm wrong, I'll have to buy you a pizza.
Because of all of these problems, and you don't think that Valve will come back unless there's some sort of monetary value or reward involved in it for them.
Yeah.
How many years do you think TF2 has left if this all blows over and is ignored?
I believe there will still be some small communities playing on their private servers, but the number of people will decrease and decrease if the bots problem won't go away. So I'd say optimistically 2 years.
On the contrary, if Valve did not do anything to fix this and they ignore this completely, which hopefully they do not, how long do you think TF2 will last? The average, like, casual players who would go into a casual map, how long do you think it would be until there was none left?
Average casual players, the game is it's like a bug, it's damn uncrushable. Even in the face of these bots, the player count has been steadily rising, so if it were to just continue as is, I'd say like, I don't know, another 3 or 5 years if it goes untouched like this.
You're a little more optimistic, which I appreciate in these dark times.
A little more optimistic because of like the game's absolute impact.
Without an anti-cheat, I don't see TF2 going much further, because it's like, you know, it's like, how long will people like play on a community? I mean, people will play on a community server for as long as they live, but you know, how long will people go on like an official casual type of server if you can't even be casual? It's like literally like you can't play the game. The game is unplayable.
I used to think that, you know, TF2 wouldn't die just because of how, you know, how it was made. But with the current cheating problem right now, not being able to even like play it, so can we even really call it like, you know, can it will probably die like in a like give it like 1 more year or so, it's gonna die if this is not being resolved at all. So I hope Valve do give some attention to it, and not just like shrug it off and be like, oh, you know, we could just, you know, pluck the life support from the game and just hope it doesn't end up like that. Because with TF2, there's been like a lot of people's childhood games, I guess. Like everyone enjoyed it, but no one can really enjoy it now because of the botting problem.
I would say probably 5 years or more for like private, or not private, but like close, like tight-knit community servers with people who all know each other. Because I've been in my fair share of those where everybody was in like a Discord and we would just come on whenever we wanted to. But like casual, 2, 3, 4 years maybe at most.
Casual is basically on its last doorstep. Community is where it is. So I think for a larger community, you know, if no major update happens, it'll be maybe 1 or 2 more years, and the people might actually just get bored enough.
It's like a fire, you know. It runs and it can get stronger, but only if it's already lit. Once it dies, nobody is going to come back unless there's a large-scale event bringing everybody back together. Because otherwise, people are going to be joining in sparse numbers, and there's just only going to be like 1 or 2 people there, and never going to be any matches.
For the generic casual player experience, how long do you think it will be until TF2 dies out?
Honestly, if Save TF2 doesn't work out, I give it less than before 2025.
I agree. You know, it's like any other Source game that hasn't been updated. You know what happened with Counter-Strike Source? That game died out big time. The only people playing that are Russians. So, you know.
If you had to describe TF2, your whole experience, in 1 sentence, what would it be?
And vice versa. I'm sorry, Rusted.
My favorite game ever, and still the most depressing thing I've ever seen.
If you could describe TF2 as a whole game and as your whole experience with the game over your 9 years in just 1 sentence, what would it be?
Chaotic good mixed with neutral evil with a splash of mental degenerates.
You've had a long TF2 career, so this is probably going to be a little harder for you than most other people I've interviewed. But as a whole, all of TF2 and your experience with it, all 14 years, could you sum it all up in one sentence?
In one sentence. That's a hard one. Come for the guns, stay for the friends.
Give me a real fucking handshake. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. If you had to sum up your TF2 experience as a whole, ups and downs, in one sentence, what would that sentence be?
There is only one sentence I can say. Stout Shaka for Turafint. There was some old meme regarding TF2 when the trading was going in, and there was those films and clips of Demoman wearing the Stout Shako and just selling it for Turafint metals, and yeah, that's what I remember the most about TF2. Those silly memes about trading.
If you could sum up your TF2 experience in one sentence, what would it be?
I genuinely have no idea what's happening. Some people explode at random, and I'm having a blast. And then every now and then, I'll get shot across the map with a sniper that isn't being used by an actual person.
Here
Full
ones I've had.
anarchy.
Tasteful anarchy, there we go.
TF2 is like a dream, I suppose. Like, in a dream, nothing ever makes sense. In TF2, nothing ever makes sense. The experience is always going to be. It's not going to always be consistent. And
TF2 was always there for me when I just wanted to have some casual fun.
It was nice to dip into, and I hope it can actually come back, because I do want to experience it properly, because I never got to.
If you could summarize your whole TF2 experience in just one sentence, what would it be?
Let's see. Best thing that ever happened to me.